Okay, it's time to pack your bags and gas up the car for some road trips that might include ski resorts, ghost towns, serene deserts, and more, all within 5 hours of Las Vegas. Vegas is a travel hub, and that is one of the best things about living here. You can get to the beach and the mountains in no time by car, or take a flight to almost anywhere in the world from our beautiful neon hometown. So today we're going to talk about road trips, and we're going to give you some of the top 10 best, in my opinion, most unique experiences for you to go to from Las Vegas. Before I get started, please make sure that you're subscribed to my channel, and be sure to click that little bell so that you can be notified anytime I post a new video. Also, be sure to watch to the end of the video if you can. It helps my channel grow, and it helps the algorithm recognize what I'm up to. Okay, let's get started. St. George, Utah is about 2 hours from Las Vegas. Here's a quick pro tip. If you go during the summer, make sure you book show tickets at the Tuacahn Theater for Broadway. It's Broadway level performances, and they do it with the Red Rocks in the background. You can thank me later. St. George is the first place Las Vegans run to after kind of cutting through the northwest corner of Arizona and crossing the border into Utah. It's a very popular destination for our local families, as its proximity is super close to the city, and it's such a cute and charming little place to go. It's got a really thriving art scene, amazing vintage stores, and it's super close to the 4 of the state parks that everybody loves so much. So you'll understand why when you get up there. If you're into ATVs and exploring the red terrain like Mad Max, I've totally done this. You have to do it. You got to check out Sand Hollow. St. George is also known for a great base city for day tripping to Zion National Park, one of the most colorful examples of rock formations on this west coast. Sweeping cliffs, waterfalls, it's absolutely stunning. It does get chilly in the winter, and sometimes you'll see snow, but this season, during the fall, is a great opportunity to check out the most popular spots with smaller crowds. Just make sure to apply for passes at least a day in advance if you're going to go see Zion. Now, of course, you can also balance out all the outdoorsy stuff that I'm talking about by visiting some of the cute little independent restaurants, the art galleries, and the cute, adorable shopping in downtown St. George. The Painted Pony and Wood Ash Rye are my top spots for dinner and drinks if you're going to check it out. Next up is Mesquite, Nevada, about an hour and a half away from Las Vegas. Here's a pro tip. If you're a Las Vegas local, sometimes they have amazing spa room packages that can make you feel like a king or queen for under $200. So make sure you check it out. Casablanca Resort is one of my favorites. Mesquite's about 95 miles northeast of Las Vegas, and it tends to kind of market itself as a more laid-back alternative to Las Vegas or Sin City, but it's really a casino town for party animals who live across the border in Utah. That's the bottom line. It's easy to get to, and it gives them a chance to kind of cut loose. The really bright, dramatic sandstone formations almost appear like they're on fire. It's got a gorgeous kind of landscaping around the city when the sun hits them. It's perfect. A lot of golf is up there as well. The red sand at Rainbow Vista creates life on Mars kind of feeling, sort of like the red sand in Sand Hollow, like I mentioned before. And honestly, it's pretty cool because Total Recall and parts of that movie from the 80s, the movie Total Recall, were actually filmed up there. Now that summer's over, the cooler temperatures are actually perfect for walking the park, and it really doesn't feel like Las Vegas unless you are in the casinos. So you definitely do get kind of a, kind of the outdoorsy vibe paired with immediate walk into the casino vibe and a casino experience. Coolest thing about the casinos, you get way lower buy-ins on the table games and a really fun bingo game on any given night. There's a bit of a vintage vibe that's felt on the tableside food presentation at Catherine's Steakhouse, which is one of my favorite spots, and the 7 golf courses that are squeezed within a few miles of each other really make this a great destination just to get away for the weekend. You can interact with exotic animals at the Camel Safari or go off-roading with an ATV. Like I'm telling you, it's basically the best of all worlds, all rolled up into little baby Mesquite. Next up is Laughlin, Nevada. It's about an hour and a half from Las Vegas, and describing Laughlin as a mini Vegas with a river doesn't really fit for me, but it's not 100% off base either. I don't know. Laughlin's like less chaotic. It's kind of a small town vibe. The employees are always going to know who you are. If you come back year after year, they're going to definitely remember you. So it's kind of cool. I don't know. The dining and nightlife is very low key and no pressure at all. So if you're kind of looking for that vibe, it's good for you. But the character of town is basically shaped by being the fact that it's located right next to the Colorado River, which separates Nevada from Arizona. You're definitely going to want to hold off on jet skiing and kayak rentals during the holidays or during the fall season, but you can take water taxis from one hotel to another and do guided boat tours or dinner cruises, which is kind of fun. It's a really great time of year to hike the nearby Grapevine Canyon, where you can explore dried riverbeds and examine kind of petroglyphs and just cool stuff like that. More of the nature vibe, and it's, over hundreds of years old, so why not check it out? Next up is Mount Charleston, which is about 30 minutes to an hour from Las Vegas, depending on what side of town you're leaving from. Pro tip for you on this spot, if you're gonna be doing sledding, because you probably will be, especially during the fall season, make sure you make your sledding and skiing reservations early. They sell out and fill up very quickly, especially in the winter months. Mount Charleston is the highest peak in the Spring Mountains, and it's just northwest of Sin City, which is really cool. The elevation is a beautiful change of pace in the summer months. It's about 30 degrees difference from a weather perspective, but the colder months are really cool because that's when the snow comes. It's awesome. You can count on about that 30-degree weather difference year-round. That helps out a ton, but it makes it super fun because you really do feel like you're somewhere different than Las Vegas. The Lee Canyon Ski and Snowboard Resort is a really awesome spot. They offer, in their peak season, beautiful chairlifts, providing gorgeous views of the city. It's one of my favorite things to do because you can really get a sense of the Humboldt National Forest around you. The loss of Mount Charleston's lodge in 2021 fire hit our community really hard, but the owners have been staging sporadic pine dining pop-up culinary events in the location, which have proven to be a huge hit also. So that's another thing you could do while you're up there. There are amazing on-site cabin rentals that continue to be a favorite for a lot of our tourists and locals because you're literally in a cabin surrounded by snow most of the year. You can book yourself a retreat on Mount Charleston Peak at the resort, which is formerly known as the Resort on Mount Charleston, and it has a bar and a restaurant. So not only are there cool and awesome events happening up there that are kind of like pop-up dining events, there's skiing, there's hot cocoa, there's lodges, you name it, you can do it. Mount Charleston's always going to be a #1 on my list when it comes to things that you could do right outside of the city, and it's a completely different experience than if you're in the city versus there. Next up is Caliente, Nevada, which is about 2.5 hours from Las Vegas. Pro tip, this is a great spot for mountain biking and hiking, so make sure you bring your gear if that's your thing. But if you're just wanting to get away from the crowds, Caliente is the only incorporated city in Lincoln County, which is north of Las Vegas. It's a quiet community with a small town feel and kind of an unexpected variety of those outdoor activities that I just mentioned. Early growth was based on its role as a railway stop between Salt Lake City and Los Angeles. It's kind of a legacy recognized with a mission-style depot. It's still standing, super photogenic, very historic, and it's also got a boxcar museum, which is just a few steps away from there. As I mentioned before, spend some time here and further explore maybe some more of that great outdoors, mountain biking at Barnes Canyon, hiking at Kershaw-Ryan State Park. Caliente is great to just visit, great for the outdoors, but it's also a great home base to just visit and look at rock formations and slot canyons. It's gorgeous. They've got the Cathedral Gorge State Park, which is about 15 miles away, and it's just an amazing place, so bring your gear. That's all I have to say. Otherwise, just hang out for a while, mingle with the locals at Sidetrack. That's one of the favorite restaurants on the outskirts of Vegas. Or you can go to its sister weekend cocktail lounge, the Sidecar. Caliente Hot Springs Resort is closed for renovations until 2023, but you can ask for the log cabin at the nearby Pine Tree Inn and the bakery bed and breakfast at Panaca. Beatty, Nevada is another really cool spot. It's about an hour and 45 minutes away from Las Vegas. Pro tip, bring some outfit changes so you can get some awesome photos for your Instagram because this place is a vibe for photos. Just trust me. In the heart of Beatty, you're gonna wanna try the Chilean beer at Happy Burro. It's kind of an old saloon with a vintage spirit, quirky decor, boardwalk style patio, super cute. And if you hang around long enough, you might see burros roaming around on the streets who you could maybe try to take a picture with. Beatty is another old mining town, and it's on the outskirts of Death Valley. It's also close to the ghost town ruins of Rhyolite and the weirdness of the Goldwell Open Air Museum. There's also the Tom Kelly Bottle House made from more than 50,000 glass bottles, which is a definite must you have to see and get some photos of. All of those places are within steps of each other in the west side of this town. For another weird photo spot, just travel 3 miles north of this town center on US 95. You'll see wreckage from an airplane crash by a roadside sign for what used to be the Angels Ladies Brothel. With a travel time of less than 2 hours, Beatty is just a really great day trip. It's a really good space to go just get photos and just get out of town for a little bit. But if you want to stay overnight, they just renovated rooms at the Stagecoach Hotel and Casino. Next up is going to be Williams, Arizona. This is a bit of a longer drive, about 3.5 hours. Pro tip, if you want a cool way to visit the Grand Canyon, take an old school train ride from Williams, Arizona, because it's an amazing direct passage to the scenic South Rim inside the national park, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Williams is a small town that really values its reputation as the gateway to America's largest hole in the ground, of course, but Williams is also a pretty cool place to visit all by itself. Spend a few days here if you want to. You'll be able to see the proud history that kind of brings the rough and tumble Wild Wild West with the operational original stretch of Route 66, and just kind of how it all ushered a new era of what road tripping kind of looks like now. You can roam the streets of downtown where there's old brothels and saloons who have been converted to now bars and restaurants, and you can ride down a mountain on a self-controlled airplane roller coaster at Canyon Coaster Adventure Park. If you want to get into the cowboy spirit, you can do that at Wild Wild West Junction, and you can also check out all the vintage gas pumps and other antiques inside Pete's Gas Station Museum. Really great for photos. Just outside of town, animal lovers can feed dozens of deer, meet a zonkey, hang out with a camel, and honestly just go to the Grand Canyon Deer Farm and swoon and talk to Bambi. Either way, you're gonna drive through this place and you're gonna absolutely love it like I know I do. Death Valley, California is about 2 hours from Las Vegas. Don't go during the summertime. That's my pro tip. Just trust me on that. Don't go during the summertime. There's even crazy people that like run races through this joint during the summer. Don't do it. But at the lowest point of elevation in North America, Death Valley gets unbearably hot in the summer, famously setting record temperatures. Once the weather cools down in the fall and the winter, which is now, the national park is actually really, really beautiful. You can book a night at the inn at Death Valley. It's kind of a Mediterranean-inspired oasis with gorgeous views, or the more casual ranch at Death Valley, which has kind of a lush outdoor landscaping with the lowest elevation golf course in the world. So if you're a golf fan, this could be for you. Either way, you can enjoy a steak dinner at the Last Kind Word Saloon, which is a full-on, rugged, Old West charming kind of spot to go. It's a great time of year to hike as well. The surrounding landscapes are beautiful, from the peaks of Zabriskie Point to the depths of Badwater Basin. Oddly picturesque salt flat. It's kind of cool, and who doesn't want some of those awesome Death Valley shots with that cow skull or the bull skull? Everybody needs one of those at some point in their life. The northwest entrance of Valley National Park via Beatty remains closed off after flooding damage due to the road over the summer, so make sure to enter passing through Death Valley Junction when traveling from Las Vegas. Next up is Cottonwood, Arizona. Distance from Las Vegas, 4 hours and 40 minutes. We're getting longer each time we go through this list. Pro tip, if you like wine, book a night at the hotel and dive in. You will thank me later. Cottonwood's a beautiful small town in the heart of Arizona's Verde Valley between Phoenix and Flagstaff. It's a quiet region that kind of still hangs on to its old West roots a little bit. It's kind of an old mining community as well, and it's got some picturesque mountain scenery that you will just absolutely love. It's also the heart of Arizona's booming wine country, as I mentioned. Visit historic downtown Cottonwood and check out at least 8 tasting rooms within steps of each other. So if you're ready to get drunk on some wine, this is your spot. Neighboring Jerome is home to the Grand Hotel, kind of a formerly creepy hospital-ish vibe, but it's currently one of the most haunted hotels in America, so that's kind of cool. You can also grab lunch and enjoy the views at Asylum Restaurant before taking a ride on the Verde Canyon Railroad. It's a 3-hour train ride that follows the river and turns around at Perkinsville Ghost Town, which is kind of cool. Spend some time exploring the great outdoors, especially the national monuments there, and just look at the Pueblo ruins. It's a really cool spot. Cottonwood, Arizona. I've only been once, but I'm definitely going to be going back. Next on the list is Tacopa, California. It's only an hour and a half from Las Vegas. Here's my pro tip. Be prepared to have 0 service while you're there. 0, none, nothing, just don't even try. The heat and the bugs in Tacopa are absolutely unbearable during the summer, but once the temperatures drop, like in the fall, it's a perfect time to check out the quirkiness of this awesome little tiny California destination. It's not quite a ghost town, but you may see abandoned buildings and a rundown jail and some other signs of its history that kind of make it feel like it anyway. Las Vegas locals go there to truly disconnect, because you have to absolutely disconnect because you have 0 freaking signal. There's no cell phone service, there's hardly any landlines, it has just no access whatsoever, but it does have the most breweries per capita in the United States, as long as you understand that that means 2 breweries for about 60 people, because that's per capita. Tacopa Brewing Company has a killer barbecue setup, and Death Valley Brewing is next to Steaks and Beer, which serves charred ribeyes and organic sides and all that. So they have no website, they have no social media, you can't find them online, you're gonna have to just go and trust me. The most popular attractions in Tacopa are the natural hot springs and the 2 resorts that are there. So make sure you check it out and make time to visit the small museum and the bakery while you're there too. Brian Head, Utah is going to be 4 hours from Las Vegas. This is another Las Vegas locals favorite, of course. My pro tip for you is book a snowmobile tour for a unique way to see the landscape. It's absolutely stunning. This town is all about Brian Head Ski Resort. It's all about skiing, and it's one of the most popular destinations for Las Vegas locals to kind of cross into Utah if they just want to hit the slopes. The season gets underway on November 18th, typically, with more than 70 runs on the connected giant steps of the Navajo Mountains. The base elevation of 9,200 feet is the highest in the state. I'm not a skier, so I hope that means something to to you if you're a skier. The ski atmosphere is very casual, very laid back, and it's very beginner friendly, which is awesome. Beyond skiing though, and beyond snowboarding, Brian Head is also a fun spot for snowshoeing, tubing, snapping photos of the beautiful rock vistas, and so much more. I do definitely recommend booking a snowmobile tour and exploring the snow-filled backcountry. It's gorgeous, and when it's time to grab a meal, hang out with the regulars and order Thai food at Suk Jai or pizza at Pisano's. If you're thinking about making Las Vegas your home and becoming a local so you can enjoy these weekend getaways, I want to freaking know about it. Be sure to click the link in the description below so we can talk about your plans to get you to Vegas and make you a homeowner as soon as possible. If you're watching my videos and you're loving it, I want to make sure you're subscribed, so please do that now. Click the little bell and comment below if there's a place that you'd like to visit if you're already a local that you think I should add to the list next time. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.